Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Okay, let me see who was here first. Happy Friday, Baron and Squaddies. Thank you, Helen Marmon. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. I'm going to scroll all the way. Yeah, okay. Let me grab the slides so I don't keep you waiting any longer. Um, Mystic Toxin, thank you for being here. Judy Matasid, Francilia Mosley, Rositas, thank you for being here. And Emma D, very cool. All right, thank you everyone for being here. Sorry to keep you waiting, seriously. Unavoidable. Lydia Washington, thank you for being here. Oh, all right. So let's get on with it. By the way, I did go over to the box. I went over and picked up some things. So if you have sent anything to the wish list, perhaps I have it. I just haven't opened anything yet. It has been a very long day, but I'm good. Thank you so much for not asking. All right, so recycled thumbnails, that kind of day. GB News removed suspended host Dan Wootton from its website. Presenter lineup and deleted his bio Friday in a distancing that seemed to signal that the network may have now parted ways with him. Well, it's about time. Um, you know, I'm not going to go and look, but I was getting kind of curious and I wanted to take a look at his Twitter, but I won't. Or should I say their Twitter, because he did have tweets on their Twitter, but I'm not going to bother. But anyway, and good riddance. So GB News scrubs presenter Dan Wootton from his website after sexism controversy. The GB News removed suspended host Dan Wootton from his website, presenter lineup, and deleted his bio in a. Okay, same thing. Oh, yeah, it is. Same thing that's up there. So farewell, Dan Wootton, and I hope you get your comeuppance. By the way, there is a bunch of videos that I made based on the byline. What do you call it? Well, all the stuff from the byline that concerns Dan Wootton. So if you if you want to do something interesting this weekend, go and take a peek at some of those. You don't have to go through reading all of them. I've done it for you. I have done it for you. You can hear my melodic voice stammering along, word for word, keeping you company while you're doing things like washing your dishes, cooking food, maybe a drive to see family in another town, you name it. Royal Sussex will be there. So, and the weirdest thing is the other day, I was actually listening to me, and I'm just like, you know what? You're good company. You're good company with your shady Scorpio self. So, yeah, that's what I did. Okay, now let's move on. I don't think we should be more than an hour tonight. Uh, so, right there, executive editor and presenter of Dan Wootton Tonight, crossed out. um, oh, and the Mail Online, he's also removed from that too. So don't forget, Dan Wootton had this cushy job with the Mail Online where I think he was doing like a couple articles a week or a couple articles a month, but it was supposedly good pay for doing very little work. And for whatever reason, he was removed from that. So he doesn't even have that to fall back on anymore. So I'm afraid Dan Wootton's days are, well, they said that he may want to move to Scotland, but it was reported that he was seen in a cafe near his family's home in New Zealand. So, right along with the three-toed sloth, the wombats, and okay, I know none of those animals are there, but I just love saying it. Okay. Now, this has been trending. Want to see an attention-seeking narcissist? Oh, well, let me pull that down. Here, let me show you something. Pick number one is Catherine Middleton, Princess of Wales, masked throughout the pandemic. Pick number two is her going maskless into a crowded memorial for a unalived girl she hoped to be recognized and applauded. By the way, I tried to find that video, Black Queen. I tried. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons it took me so long to get here is I searched every way I could. I suppose it was never its own video. I think I shared it only on the lives. And so I could not find it. Now, there is a single video, but it's on the other computer, which I have yet to take into repair. So, unfortunately, unless somebody can tell me where that video is, and I know I just showed it on a live maybe a month ago. Now, don't wear yourself out trying to find it because, there's hours of lives. But if you can think of the one off the top of your head, I would gladly grab it and share it with everyone. It's such a great video. It was actually a video from one of the squaddies on Twitter. And I enhanced it and added just a little bit here and a little bit there. And a great video was made that much better. But for the life of me, I cannot find it. And you know how I am. I was here going through everything I could to find it, and I just couldn't. And I'm just like, okay, enough is enough. Let me go ahead and go on because I will be at this all night with that obsessive, what is it, compulsive, excessive behavior of mine. And I just couldn't find it. So I do apologize that we do not have that one to share. And Black Queen, thank you so much for asking for it yesterday. Unfortunately, I have let the team down. I can't find it. I wanted to find it so bad because it's such a cool video and I just couldn't. So, oh well. But I know some of you guys remember that video. So if you guys, for any reason, don't know what we're talking about, Kate went maskless to an event, which was a makeshift memorial for Sarah Everhart. Well, the police, per the directive during the time of the pandemic, they told people, do not go. You are exceeding the amount of people in a public space. And so the people who showed up were wearing their face mask. And the only people that I noticed that didn't wear a face mask was the children. But along comes Kate with a line of Range Rovers, and suddenly she emerges from the Range Rover, as you can see her right there, without her face mask. And of course, the police and the onlookers said nothing, did nothing. But at a certain point, this makeshift memorial, which I think is that where they found the unfortunate victim? Because the unfortunate victim was unalived by a Met police officer. There was a feeling that the Met police were not doing their due diligence because it was one of theirs. And because they say that the Met Police has a history of, among other things, racism as well as the misogyny and such, that it was um, pretty shocking that when the police moved in to clear this makeshift memorial, all of a sudden they began to pile on those women, and some of them were beaten and jailed. They were arrested. These women were there to show their respects and to grieve collectively because, as far as things go, just like Meghan was compelled to go to Uvalde because being a mother, you feel a certain way when something like that happens. Well, she went to Uvalde because as a new mom, she wanted to be there. She wanted to be the person that she's always been. And that's someone who is very proactive, someone who participates, lends assistance, comfort, give comfort to those who are, um, in grief or whatever. That is who she is. That is what she chose to do. And unfortunately, the past few days, the derangers have been making a mockery, have been insinuating that Meghan was driven by the need to embrace the publicity from such an event. And of course, that is hogwash. That is a bunch of hooey. And is it they really overstepped the mark. And a lot of people in the Sussex Squad have been um, absolutely livid about it and very confrontational, um, in a way that I won't say it's exactly rare because, we do get riled up in the Sussex Squad. But this time they really overstepped the mark. They truly overstepped the mark. And there's a lot of people who otherwise would just ignore them, have decided to mix it up with some of the derangers. So I don't blame people for being emotional and having that outpour of emotion. I mean, you got to feel what you feel when you feel it. However, however, it is also very important that we are careful not to give the derangers engagement, because a lot of these people nowadays, they are making money from their what do you call it, from their X or Twitter, if you will. They're making money. The engagement brings money. And so that is why it's so important to ignore those, because a lot of people who already had a big presence on the Twitter, now X, they have more motivation to say and anything that could trigger people just so that they can get the reaction. Um, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to give them that engagement. So I know it is hard to contain oneself, but you just got to do it. You got to do it because it only makes a bad situation worse. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to um, give them the reaction, uh, gift wrap with a tidy, neat little bow on it and everything. We just should not do that. And why this is trending all of a sudden? Well, I think I shared that with you yesterday. Well, one of the reasons, I don't know if that's where it started, but I just know that at a certain point, it was everywhere. It was everywhere. So let me see. Let me see if I can find it. We'll go back to where I think it started. Yeah, we'll go back to where I noticed it. And here you go. So there was the reaction, but it started. Okay, I think I got to go back one more with a. Okay, well, at least that reaction. Okay, I did cover up the thing. So right there, let's not forget when Meghan Markle took her cameras to a literal crime scene. You know, it's so they're so flippant and casual with a complete lie. The person who wrote that knows this is a lie. 3 days after the thing happened, using Uvalde to raise her profile and get press. But she, let me see, I don't know, is that supposed to be humanitarian? I don't know what that's supposed to be, but I guess that's some kind of wordplay. You want to pay respect, be respectful, and leave the cameras. And this whole thing about them bringing cameras everywhere, you know, this is egged on by the likes of Latrine, among others. They egg on this side, and she's one of the main perpetrators with this idea that they have cameras all the time. It's very easy to play that game of find something to criticize, find something that you can identify as a weakness, and then you just keep repeating it so that you can elicit as much hate and contempt as possible. That is the ploy that they use. That is a tactic. They alter images of Meghan. They find the most monstrous thing to present. And how many times have you heard me say, I have not done anything to this photo? I have not done anything. I haven't. I haven't. I mean, honestly, I don't go and look for the most attractive ones, but I don't alter them. I don't pull the mouth back and raise the eyebrow or tint their skin tone or anything like that. I leave it as it is because, you know, the normal state is quite horrific. You don't really have to do anything. But it's one thing to find an unflattering photo. It's another thing when you create a grotesque or a gargoyle out of someone's image, where you play with all the lighting and adjustments and such until what you have does not resemble anything of that person except for their silhouette. And sometimes even that is not consistent. So um, this person decided to go there. And so then you can see here, she did not take any cameras with her. The news services were there because it was covered worldwide. She went she went in incognito and dressed down, unlike the maskless Kate, who during the pandemic lockdown and against the rules visited a crime scene with her videographers. And so then that person who started this part that I'm looking at decides not true. But let's say she didn't bring her own crew. So right there, you can see a second thought. However, they're not backing down at all. She knew she'd draw attention, she'd be photographed. She knew that it would get press. There were 100 ways she could have shown her support without being photographed there. Is opportunistic and vulturous, however, whatever. So there's that. Now, clearly, this is a person with a presence of mind that instead of completely double downing on the stupidity, they decide, well, there was another way to do it. Would let you know that this person doesn't have the strength of their convictions to fall back on, that the attack was quite deliberate. The lie was deliberate. They wanted to ignite or trigger negative thoughts from or negative responses from people. And that's exactly what they got. They got exactly what they asked for. But this one really crossed the line with some people. Um, Not an imaginary line, but the line. This was a wake up call for that sort of behavior. Um, and of course, let's see. Thank you for sharing this. Derangers are the most deplorable people, bringing up things from the past to bully Meghan after all has been debunked. We don't, let's see, why don't you clowns do something with your platforms besides spewing bigotry and stupidity? Well, the thing is, these same, oh yeah, and learn something. These same people, they go after anybody who they feel is too left leaning or too, oh God, I hate to say the word woke, any of that. They make it their business day in and day out to confront anyone who does not identify with their mode of thinking. They are very tenacious, and they, of course, they sometimes they will actually fall out with each other, which is interesting. They have never been able to have a successful fundraiser, although the few times that they have raised money, I wouldn't even dare try to tell you where the money has gone, because I don't think it goes to a charity. They don't have that kind of cohesion as a group. They don't connect like that. But that jealousy only makes them more outrageous toward the Sussex Squad and the Sussexes, because they don't have that. They don't have that connection. As much as you guys may think that the Sussex Squad can't seem to cross the street together without people falling out, I beg to differ. The people on the other side, they have no loyalty with one another. They plot against each other. Is something to behold. But the few times that I've heard the way that they speak about one another, I'm like, wow, wow, we don't have that. And I mean, it is quite public, but that's what they do. So back over here. So there you go. The headline from the what is it, 13th of March 2021. And so 13th of March 2021, that is about that's a year into to the lockdown. And so there is no vaccine. We're still hoping, or at least if there was, it wasn't being distributed in mass. But there she is, emerging from the car and walking around. All of those people, even though they're outside, they're wearing their mask per mandate. Not Kate. And then the real gut punch is when the police make a formal police report about the incident, and they put Meghan's name on it. They put Meghan's name on a police report, even though she's 5,000 miles away. Like right there, you can see it. Met Police confused Meghan Markle with Kate Middleton in report on Sarah Everhard vigil. Did they? Or was that quite deliberate? I would like to believe that there cannot be a police report that includes Kate Middleton. That's just not allowed. And so what do? They throw Meghan's name in there. Yeah, they got to put one of the royals on there. Now they could have found another very posh, pretentious, erudite woman that they could have put on the police report. But considering that Edwina is a blood prince, that probably wouldn't fly. So they just decided to go with Meghan. Yeah, they decided to go with Meghan. They could have put anybody on there. They really should have put Kate's name on there, but because Kate is going to be queen, they did not want to make that part of the permanent record. And so rather than leave it blank, I'm pretty sure that it was like a big joke. I'm pretty sure that it was like a big joke amongst those present. We'll just put Meghan's name on it. How about that? And so there it goes. The conspiracy, the plot was born to insert Meghan's name for absolutely no good reason. Um, and of course, they did not remove her name. As far as I know, it was said that they amended the police report, and that was it. Your name is on there. You're stuck with it. Too bad. The same people, as yesterday, I believe it was Black Queen pointed out, the same people who took the time to remove Meghan's name from the birth certificate of Archie decided that it was necessary to put Meghan's name on the police report for a situation that she had nothing to do with. She was 5,000 miles away. That is an insult. That is absolutely insulting. So let's see here. B. Martin says, heads up to Rangers or whoever, the royal family and Willis and Broom. Oh, okay. Don't care about you. Yeah, so true. And thank you for the super sticker. They would not break bread with those people. They would not have them over for anything, and only pretend to want to embrace and shake hands with them because they really don't have a choice since they have been exposed for being the heartless, cruel people that they are. But no, they don't care about them. They do not care about them, which is why it has been so easy for them to do the least amount of anything, and they don't show up without cameras. And that's what's really insulting is you just have Kate with this what do you call it? Safari, what is it? Poverty tourism, poverty safari. You on the heels of Kate's poverty safari, where she shows up with a camera. It was supposed to be a surprise visit, of course, but she shows up with staff, camera, someone to direct or produce the event. And then, of course, after that, try to act natural. And she included the kids, which I think is really tacky, saying that I promised that I would take the kids. She had a videographer there with her, and people did call them out. They were called out for it. So thank goodness for that. So right here, Met Police confuse Meghan Markle with Kate Middleton in report on Sarah Everhart. Now, I submitted to you Exhibit A and Exhibit B. Tell me, do you actually confuse the two of them? How do you confuse the two of them? One of them has a beautiful silk press. The other one has Medusa's hair extensions. How do you confuse the two of them? One of them have skin that has been kissed by the California sun, and the other, well, kind of reminds me of a sci-fi movie. So how do you confuse the two of them? Now, the fact that I choose this photo, I have not altered it or touched it up in any way whatsoever, because truly the truth is stranger than fiction, or the truth is stranger than science fiction. I didn't need to do anything, you know? I didn't have to do anything. But this is a choice that I made, but at least I'm not doctoring and touching up photos and then putting out some kind of and they use Meghan's photo as their profile pictures, heavily altered in the most disgraceful way. Single purpose hate accounts. That's what they are. Single purpose hate accounts. And when I say single purpose, they don't talk about anything else. Here you get a little science, a little culture, a little history, we cover all kind of stuff. Current events, who's um, got a new movie coming out, uh, who died. We cover all of that stuff. And I think we were very respectful to the Queen and Philip. But you don't get that from those other people. It's all hate all the time. And of course, we don't talk about those kids, but yet well, should I say, we're not critical of their children. We criticize their way of presenting their children so often and such, but we are not attacking the children's appearance and such. We don't do that, but you can't say the same for those other people. So, of course, Meghan, as I said, as a new mom, she wanted to do something. The same Meghan who protested the war in Iraq because her best friend's brother was likely to be deployed. The same Meghan who spoke out about the misogyny of a dish detergent commercial. That Meghan. The Meghan who's always had the warrior spirit as an activist, as a humanitarian. Nothing has changed. And I have to say, whatever anyone says about Meghan's intentions when she married into that colonizer family, one thing you could say for sure, she did not hide her what do you call it? Her feminist uh, opinions and lifestyle, and none of that was hidden. She was said to have been a feminist on the official royal website. You heard it from her mouth, and there was no pretense otherwise. Now, if there was someone who was scheming just to get in there so she can snap pictures of all those blackamoor brooches and blackamoor candelabras and such, or wear those sour tiaras from that ain't been seen since the 1920s. Uh, if someone wants to pretend like that was her motivation, then I would have to ask the question, then why didn't she pretend as though she was not a feminist or that she gave up her feminist points of view? But she did not. She did not. She did not play down that part of herself ever. That was a constant, and that is a constant in her life, whatever they think. So I was listening to Pedo earlier, and Pedo made a very good I'll just say argument against sharing the video that I shared yesterday, and I do respect that, and I can see exactly what she meant when she said it was a bit queasy to observe a personal phone call. And it is. It is. And given the situation, I could also understand the motivation behind sharing that phone call, because uh, what was said about Meghan's visit to Uvalde was outrageous and insulting and painful to hear, especially from the families who have been able to benefit from Meghan's outreach. That was very painful, and it was very hurtful to some people. And like I said, I don't recommend that we go and give a full throated attack on someone else's social media platform. But I'm going to say I do understand. It's just like with the paparazzi photos. I would be a liar if I said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry I saw that photo." I'm sorry they took the photo, but when it comes to actually seeing my faves out and about and living their best lives, I do want to see that. I want to celebrate that they're out there doing the most and uninhibited by the idea that someone may take my photo. I'm glad to see them out. I don't want to see the people going after them with cameras and such. But the way things happened in Costa Rica, perfect. They're in town, they're out of town, and it wasn't until they left that we saw images of them as a family enjoying themselves. No, I don't want to ever see the kids. I don't want to see the kids. I'm not that hungry to see the kids. Harry and Meghan, yes, but the children, never. I'm okay if I don't see them until they graduate from university. I'm cool with that. I don't have to see anybody's kids. I'm not into other people's kids. Um, Kids are a handful, and they're better left to their parents or their grandparents. So this is what I was speaking of. I never posted this, but it clearly needs to be seen. This is just a small part of the video of my mom on the phone with Meghan Markle checking up on family on Father's Day. So yeah, it is a bit weird, but I'm going to share it. So I shared it yesterday. I'm going to share it again. And if you haven't seen it,
So, yes, yes, yes. No, they were.
How are they doing?
They doing okay today. Actually, they were kind of asked to be kind of left alone because it's Father's Day. So
Exactly. That's why I was thinking of them. Yeah.
yes, yes. So we just, I text them that if they needed anything, with their with here for them. And
so that's it. That is it. Not much to look at all. Um, I'm not even going to discuss why this happened or whatever, but I would have to say, like other situations where the Sussexes somehow found themselves um, being seen or heard in public. This one is kind of different because when there is a phone call, there is an assumption of privacy. I will say that. And where that's concerned, I think that Pedo was right on the mark. Connie Balmer! Hey, Connie Balmer. Happy holidays to you. So, where that was concerned, I would say Pedo was right on the mark. I adore Pedo, and I don't think I've ever disagreed with Pedo. So, I'm not disagreeing now. It was a bit wonky, but at the same time, I have to say that it does reaffirm the idea that our Duchess wasn't just there for the cameras. We know that. We know that. And it hurts me that we have to demonstrate otherwise, right? Just like when Barack Obama was repeatedly referred to as what do you call it, as a Muslim, and he wasn't American born, and we want to see his birth certificate. And then one day he decided once and for all to share the birth certificate. Uh, that was hurtful to a lot of people, right? But sometimes people just want to put the argument to bed, and so they will go through certain lengths to demonstrate otherwise. It's unfortunate that circumstances in this world have driven people to do exactly that, and I don't like it. And I think it's very difficult to disprove a negative. It is so difficult to disprove a negative. So if you're really frustrated and you're saying, "Well, how come the Sussexes don't have a press conference? Why don't they talk about this or talk about that?" And you can't. The answer is you can't. Sometimes it's better if other people speak on your behalf. But even with that, by the time the media and these deranged people complete their attacks, it cheapens everything that you just said. And it's unfortunate that life works like that, but it is true. Um, the only thing I could say that is positive about speaking out is that it does help to solidify your base. It reaffirms the support that you have already. But the bad thing is, literally, someone has just made you blink. Your enemy has just made you blink. They have exposed a weakness, and that's never a good thing. So it's unfortunate. It really takes a bit of finesse to get it right. So I can't say that it's wrong to ever speak out, but the timing is crucial. So and that's where we are right now. It's frustrating, but I have to say it is not it's not going to end the world. It's not going to end their world. Um, it's been dealt with, and hopefully, with Christmas and everything, we will have heard the last of it tonight. After they saw it, Trump wanted to see it himself. Then he wanted course grades while hiding his own grades. It was the title thing all over again. Exactly. It would never, ever be enough because once you blink, then they're going to want more and they're going to want more and more because once they see that they have found your tail, as they say in poker, once they can find your tail, once they can find your weakness, then of course they are going to do everything they can to try to create an atmosphere where you are losing confidence and uncertain of yourself. And of course, they're going to go after your supporters and try to create doubt with your supporters. So it's not a winning situation. It's so rare that it ever makes a difference. It really is. It's so rare. I mean, look at Prince Charles. When Prince Charles had his what do you call it? His interview where he spoke about his infidelity, just like with his brother talking about the Pizza Express and not sweating, he thought that that was going to create sympathy, that he could make people understand his situation. Well, it didn't. The only thing that he was able to do is to give people a chance to see how weak and pathetic and uncertain he is and how ill suited he would be as a monarch. And so far, he hasn't proved us wrong. He has not proved us wrong. I don't care how much they try to gaslight us and convince us that the first year has been very steady and he ain't done nothing. He ain't done a thing. Until he makes peace with his son, he hasn't done anything as far as I'm concerned. Until he give the people back their money, as the lady from the island say, he hasn't done a thing. It has been business as per usual. And if anything, he's only, with his slim down monarchy, he is only costing the public more money. Thank you so much for the super chat, Legs. But yeah, Legs has made an excellent point. Is that once you cave, they are going to expect more and more and more because you have just exposed a weakness. And so, not to say that this is a kid. Not to say that this kid made a mistake because he was trying to do the right thing. He was trying to do the right thing. And I have a lot of patience for people trying to do the right thing. Yes, sometimes it can cost a lot. You could lose a lot. But if it was with the best of intentions, that's a lot better than someone who has deliberately targeted you to see that your whole world comes crashing down around you. That is the part of it I wouldn't like. But that someone was trying to help, I accept that for what it is, and that's it. The kid was trying to help. Lydia says, African proverb, the lion does not turn around when the small dog barks. Hear, 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 hear. Uh, Okay. Okay. All right. So let me get back over here. Now, Meghan Markle defended by Uvalde victim's father. So this article was in the Newsweek. Now, notice the person who shared the article. You see right there where it says this was not written by Jack Royston, Meghan Markle defended by Uvalde's victim's father. Well, that person that posted this from the magazine wanted you to know clearly Jack Royston has not changed his spots or his stripes. He is still an awful individual, and he's one of the reasons why a very good American weekly political and you know geopolitical magazine like the Newsweek has become a little tawdry gossip rag is because of people like him. Well, anyway, it says here the father of a victim in the Robb Elementary School shooting in Uvalde has spoken out against claims Meghan Markle brought a media crew to the town in the aftermath of the attack. Meghan was accused of using the tragedy as a PR stunt by commentators and her half brother Thomas Markle Jr. when photographs were published of the Duchess laying flowers at a memorial in the town 2 days after the 19 children and two teachers were unalived by an 18-year-old gunman, Salvador Ramos, in 2022. At the time, a spokesperson for Meghan told Newsweek that the Duchess made her visit to Uvalde in a personal capacity as a mother seeking only to offer her support to the community that is experiencing the unimaginable grief. Um, Despite this, negative claims against Meghan and her motives continue to circulate on social media, leading to the father of one of the victims to speak out. Responding to an ex formerly Twitter post by a dedicated anti Meghan account, Unremarkable is the name of the account. Oh, yeah, okay. Which claimed she took her camera to a literal crime scene 3 days after a mass situation with children, um, using Uvalde to raise her profile and get press. I mean, just saying this, hearing this coming out of my own mouth, it hurts. This is very, very hurtful. So, again, I don't blame any of the squatties that felt compelled to go on the attack. I don't blame them. Brett Cross, father of, what is it? Uzia, uh, Uzi Garcia, who was killed in the shooting, spoke in defense of the Duchess of Sussex. And then it goes on to say, let me see, where am I at here? You're so far from the truth, he wrote in his ex post on, oh, I'm sorry, let me do this. So you can, there you go. All right. You're so far from the truth, he wrote in his ex post on December 22nd. She arrived without media and did tell them to leave, that she wasn't there for them. She has also kept in contact with my wife. He also went on to claim that while Meghan, that is, didn't bring media with her to visit the town after the shooting, both Texas Governor Greg Abbott and movie star Matthew McConaughey did. You know who did show up with cameras? McConaughey did, he wrote, and Greg Abbott, Texas, well, anyway, the whatever that is there. Governor Abbott is what it is meant. Only asked to go to our kid's funeral if he could bring his personal media, and when we said no, he refused to go. Maybe it's best not to talk on the subject you're not woefully ignorant on. When approached about his response, Cross told Newsweek that he was tired of people talking about Uvalde in ways that are not factual. In November of that same year, it was revealed that the Duchess Archwell Foundation, headed with Prince Harry, had partnered with nonprofit organization Kaboom to develop a children's playground at De Leon Park with the aim of supporting the local community and its population of children as they grow beyond the tragedy. At the time, Archwell executive director James Holt said in a statement, it has been an honor to support the children and families in Uvalde, design and build this amazing space where the community can come together. Our hope is that this special project can help the community heal and be home to imaginations, games, and play for many years to come. Yeah, so that was the article that was in the Newsweek, and unfortunately, for everyone involved, it was necessary to speak out rather than leaving these people alone, giving them a chance to grieve and to heal. They find themselves on a defensive, and it's not just for Meghan. It is not just for Meghan. If you know, you know what happened with Parkland. If you know what happened with other schools where they claimed that these events did not happen, that they were not real, that it was some kind of false flag or something like that. But again, there are some people, some derangers, who will sign in on that narrative, and they will perpetuate it. Edna Joseph, Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you so much for being here. So again, Red Cross, you are so far from the truth. She arrived, this is his tweet. She arrived without media and did tell them to leave, that she wasn't there for them. She has also kept in contact with my wife. You know who did show up with cameras? Matthew McConaughey did, and Greg Abbott. Only asked to go to the kids' funerals if he could bring his personal media. And when we said no, he refused to go. Maybe it's best not to talk on a subject that you are woefully ignorant on. So he actually wasn't just saying this in a magazine. He tweeted that to that same ignorant person who, as far as I know, started this whole thing in the first place. The one who started this in the first place. Let's not forget when Meghan Markle, and by the way, as you can see, I didn't even bother to cover her name here, seeing that she has made quite a name for herself, whoever this person is. And the photo that she uses for her profile, that is Meghan's photo, which is green. So Meghan is supposed to be the Grinch that stole Christmas. You see what I mean? This is very typical of the derangers. Oh, there we go. Anna Boyd, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for being here. And Elaine Babb, thank you for the super sticker. And again, thank you for being here and for being a member of Royal Sussex. Greatly appreciate it. Now, as I was saying, I don't want to read this one out loud, but I put it on the right side. You can see one of the deranged comments. You know what I was just saying about the false flags and all that kind of stuff? Well, that is what this is leaning toward. Uvalde is trending again due to fans of royal family being absolutely unhinged. Please report and block. Do not feed these crazy people anymore. This site will implode one day. So take out the trash early if you can. And that, of course, is from the squatty that we have all fallen in love with recently, who says some of the darndest things, but very, very smart lady. So I I tend to check in on her every day because she says what needs to be said. Um, so there you go. There you go. This is lunacy, and that person has really kicked the hornet's nest. They have caused a firestorm with that stupid tweet of a past event that has no bearing, excuse me, on anything happening right now, but it was negativity just for the sake of being negative. Beverly McCaskill, Baron, this fool actually said the no one. Yeah, I know. That's what I just said. That's what I just said. Is that it seems as though it's turning into another one of those things. That's exactly what I just said. Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for being here tonight and being a member as well as a moderator. So up there at the top, as you can see, I blocked the name of that account. However, I have not been able to independently verify that that is a real account. So I have no reason to believe that it's not, but I tried to find it and verify that it was actually an account. I'm going to say it could be very much a real account, but again, I do like to verify. But if this is an example of some of the things that are going on those Deranger pages, then, you know, someone's got some splaining to do. And the fact that I have not been able to find it may also mean that the person has taken it down or Twitter has removed it. So that's a possibility. But I don't know what the point of this recent bout of negativity. I don't understand it because it's not like the Sussexes. It's not like what I'm trying to say. It's not like September and October when they seem to be everywhere. And it's a little late. We're a little bit past Omid Scobie's book. So what was the point of this all of a sudden? Hey, Anastasia, what was the point of it? Don't know. Don't know. But again, if you are, feeling a certain way, please try not to target these people. Try not to engage, because by doing that, you're only bringing more attention to their accounts. And now on Twitter, they can actually be paid. They can get, um, you know, they're content creators now, and so they say some of the darndest things to trigger you, so that you will reply, and of course they will get paid. They will get paid. They want to build up as many new followers as possible. Connie Bomber, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for being here all the way from Switzerland, where I have the nicest, loveliest cowbell, as well as my Swiss knife and the chocolates that did not last long, and my delicious and refreshing, soothing Ricolas. So thank you very much. Now, where is Susie Q? Trigger warning, Susie Q. I am going to play the video that I made for Uvalde, and it is somewhat emotional. I will admit that, but I love it, because I think it's a great tribute to the students. So I'm going to share it. Some of y'all have seen it before, but go ahead and share it right now. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. But yeah, what I was saying is that someone decided to weaponize the gestures of the Duchess of Sussex and use it as a weapon against her when they clearly they themselves have done nothing for Uvalde, but instead they decide to challenge Meghan's authenticity, and of course uh, they did not really consider the effect that this would have on the families of Uvalde. Uh, as you know, with Kaboom, we helped raise money for that playground. You know, a lot of us pitched in to help, and again, whenever the Sussexes get involved, we get involved, right? We get involved. They don't have an equivalent to that over in Crazyville. They don't have an equivalent. What they have is hate in place of action. And that says a lot about who they are. That in the place of action, in the place of compassion, they present hatred and conspiracies. So yeah. Anyway, again, thank you, J Matt, for the super chat. Okay. But yeah, so it's unfortunate, and hopefully one of these days, hopefully we can get past the nonsense. It is such a waste of everybody's time that you have these people that lash out with nonsense just for the sake of it, just for the sake of it. The cruelty seems to be the only point. The only point is the cruelty. There's nothing else. The 110-pound California born Duchess of Sussex is supposed to be a threat to a 1,000-year-old institution. They've had a 1,000-year head start. So even if there was some idea that she was trying to destroy that institution, not likely. They're going to destroy themselves because they are courting this type of behavior. They have the family, that is, the family over across the ocean, they have gotten into bed with the press. And along with the press, that very right wing um, press, they have gotten into bed with some very sinister, evil, malicious people. And when those people turn on them, and they will turn on them, like, could you imagine if that hoghead Pierce Morgan turned against the royal family with his ability to turn a phrase? Could you imagine how much damage that would do to their brand? And trust me, when I say it, I mean it. uh, Pierce Morgan and his kind have the ability and will at some point turn against them. If Pierce Morgan ever feels as though he's not getting the cover that he needs, he's not getting the protection he feels like he deserves, he will turn on them. He will flip. He has no loyalty to anyone. He doesn't give a toss about that family. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. And apparently, he doesn't care about his own family. Otherwise, he would not be the person that he is today. Loathed and hated and such a pig. He's just a pig. B. Martin says the British media and that family created this. Now they want to ignore it like it's okay, not okay. Yeah, exactly. They have created this monster. They have created the Frankenstein monster, and when that monster turns against them, and and decides to squeeze the life out of them, they won't know what hit them. They will be wondering, Well, actually, they're going to play the victim role. That's what they're going to do. They are going to play the victim. They're the same victims that they always try to project that victimhood that they try to project. That is going to be that is going to be their character. But thank you, B. Martin. So, let's move on to something else. But yeah, it was yeah. You could just tell Meghan was very emotional and felt a need to do something. And I think at some point we've all had that need to do something. And fortunately, our need to do something is not like the derangers. Okay, so 13 of the best-selling celebrity memoirs in 2023. Um, well, in 2023 was arguably one of the years of. Well, I'm sorry, one more time. 2023 was arguably the year of the celebrity memoir. From the first month of the year when Prince Harry's highly anticipated Spare came out, to the final few months when Spicy tells all from Britney Spears and Jada Pinkett Smith landed this year has been chock full of stars confessing all. It turns out that the only highest profile of all the stars can move major book sales. While what is that? Is that Thomas? Tomes of tons. Should that be tons of celebrities, including Dolly Parton and Henry Winkler, sold respectable numbers. They were nowhere near the sales of Harry and Britney Spears. And this was also the year that we learned a splashy promotional campaign trading on tabloid drama doesn't always sell. Pinkett Smith turned up seemingly on every talk show and gossip page this fall, but her book lagged many other celebrity memoirs. Um, yeah, I don't know why, because yeah, it's not as though she didn't have the opportunity to sell the book, but and of course, part of her selling her book was mentioning Spare. Same with Britney Spears. I don't think Britney Spears mentioned Spare, but other people did on her behalf. Like, let's try to go and beat Spare or whatever, or this book is gonna overtake Spare, and of course, it didn't, and it probably never could. So, okay, so much for that. And then take a look there. Royal pledged £25. Match Royal's pledge of £25. Sussex Squad, this is what I wrote. Sussex Squad, thanks you for exposing this sad little man. You are doing the Lord's work. Thank you. So that is the pledge from Royal Sussex that I made to the Byline Time legal fund. So they do have a crowdsourcing for legal fees. And let me see how far they have come in just a day. Because you know what? When the Sussex Squad gets involved, you know what happens. You know what happens when the Sussex Squad. Now, let me see. Let me see. Let me stop talking and find it. Okay, so when I posted this on the community tab, oh, nope, that's not it. Is it? Oh man, you know what? I'm looking for the slides from yesterday. That's what it is. I need yesterday's slides. And then we'll see how they're doing with the input from the Sussex Squad. Mm-hmm. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. It was yesterday, right? Yeah, it was yesterday. How come I don't see it? Oh, nope, that's not it. That is so weird. How come I don't see it? Let me try something else. Mm-mm. It was yesterday, right? Or was it the 20th? Okay, maybe it was the 20th. Wow, did somebody roofie me? Because I don't see it. Well, anyway, I'm just looking for that screenshot that I took so I can see where they, nope, 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 nope. Oh, okay, there it is. So, help Byline Times legal costs, they had 8,125 pounds. And this has been up for 28 days. So in 28 days, they were able to raise 8,125 pounds. Now, thanks to the Sussex Squad, let me see where they are. 10,363 pounds, right? 27 days to go, but 10,363 pounds. So I can tell you right now that they've gotten over 2,000 pounds in 24 hours because of the Sussex Squad. I promise you, because this thing has been moving slow. It has been moving slow until the Sussex Squad. So congratulations, everyone, for your input. Now, of course, I can't prove it, but I am pretty sure that 10,363 pounds compared to 8,125 pounds. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to say that that was definitely the Sussex Squad. So thank you, everyone who contributed, or those of you who have shared the link, which you can still do that. The link is on the community tab. You will see the link there. Let me see if I can grab it really quick. Yeah, see, this is why the derangers are so unhinged, because they don't have this. They don't have this. Do you guys remember the time we filled up the rooms of that shelter with our purchases from Amazon? Do you guys remember that? We literally filled up that space. You all did that. You all filled up that space. And even if you can't, if you're unable to do anything, if you can just share the link or ask someone you know, hey, can you throw $5 on this? Right? All of that helps. So I noticed it last night that it was moving, and there you go. So very cool. That always makes me feel good. Always, always, always makes me feel good. Byline Times is doing the Lord's work. Just think, if it wasn't for them, that monster might still be sitting there saying some of the darndest things, right? And having that latrine person on there. Remember how the two of them were ganging up? But by putting some pressure on these people, it makes a difference. So I'm happy. I'm happy. One down and several more to go. Several more to go. Several more people that need to be exposed for the monsters that they are. And this monster in particular, this is the one who told the Sussexes, you got 10 days to clear out of town. Like he was some kind of old Western sheriff or something. He told the Sussexes that you need to tell the world that you're planning to leave, and if you don't do it, I will. You got 10 days. They were literally writing the draft for their exit, and then all of a sudden they get this threat from um, Dan Wootton. And notice I'm not saying alleged, because he was very quick to brag about what he was able to do. He wanted everybody to know that he was able to go after a blood prince and his wife. And of course, this is the same Dan Wootton who caused so much grief for Carolyn Flack, and then eventually for her family and all the friends that loved her, caused all that grief. And then, of course, they said that he methodically went back to his Twitter account, allegedly removed all of these tweets that went back for quite some time, where he made her life a living hell, right? But thanks to Byline, we are finally seeing some movement against someone who caused so much harm. And of course, there was the girl of African descent who spoke about how that monster ruined her life, how he taunted her. He came across as a friend and convinced her that this is going to help your career, while at the same time, he was plotting against her, plotting her downfall. So I'm glad. I'm glad. So, it's in the big scheme of things, it's not the most help, but I'm glad to be able to do something. So, and again, if you are unable to do anything, or even if you are able to do something, please share that link. Tell the story, share the link, and just say, hey, can you put $5, put £5 on this? It is going to go a long way to create a sense of security for the Byline, so that they will be able to continue this work. And that's the whole point. Having a legal fund is a security for them. It lets them know that they're not going to go bankrupt if they end up in court. That's all. It's not there to pay them directly for the work that they're doing, but it is a little insurance policy so that they could retain legal representation should the worst happen. So that is the motivation. Okay. Now, this right here, this is a snapshot of the obsession that they have over a what did they call her? A B-rate, second-rate actress, the cable, whatever, a TV actress, someone who has become the most popular royal on the planet, right? Someone who is part of a dynamic duo, someone who was a millionaire when she showed up, instead of like Sophie, who was like, what, 2 million pounds in debt when she showed up at that family. But no, Meghan came in and put a couch on her credit card. That's what she thought of things. And so you have here Meghan Markle pops up as a slightly nerdy digital staffer in whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but you get the point. For someone who's not so important, they have gone through a lot of trouble telling you about somebody who has done absolutely nothing and has brought the attention of the world to the nothing, has sold over, 6 million lattes because nobody's paying attention to with a company that she owns a share of or shares of. So good for her. Good for her. I'm glad. I'm happy. All right. And I hope you had a chance to see this article. Someone was asking, is this an older article? And I'm just curious. Well, I'll be curious. It's a good article. It's a good article. Not everything is going to be so new or recent, but it was something that I was hoping to get around to earlier this year, and I never did. And then, of course, when it was brought up again, I'm like, oh, yes, I meant to do that one. So, for your consideration, this is one of the last videos, courtesy of the Telegraph. I was able to uh, give it voice and some photos and everything. So, again, if you're not into a lot of reading or you don't have time and you just want to have something to listen to, because you know what, guys, I am very much the same way. Sometimes I just want to put pedal on and listen to pedal, or listen to Hello, Ivy here, or listen to VS, you know, and you're making it rain, 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 rain on me. Yeah, I just want to kick back and listen to one of our fellow content creators and do my work, or make my breakfast or whatever. So, if that is what you need, please go and look at the videos, not the lives, but the videos, and maybe you'll find something that will help you pass the time, or maybe not. But there are quite a few videos that have accumulated in the past almost 3 years. So go and check them out and see if there's something you might want to listen to. Yes, Anastasia, we're about to wrap this up. Where are you? There we go. We're about to wrap this up. And some more good news. Well, actually, it's sad news. It's really bad news. What am I saying? Good news. Well, the good news is he has been blocked from going back to the UK, which is sad because apparently, it says here, Andrew Tate and brother Tristan lose bid to return to UK after mom suffers heart attack, allegedly. Now, I don't want to disparage their mom, but this sounds hauntingly familiar. And you know where I'm going, right? Doesn't this sound familiar? I mean, she may very well have had a cardiac event, and I'm not going to say that it didn't happen because I really don't know. But all I have to say is this his mom? Is this his mom? Because if this is his mom, suddenly it all makes sense. If this is his mom, then I understand everything. Because if this is his mom is prone to making up stuff. His mom is prone to having these medical emergencies that cannot be collaborated by anybody whatsoever. Like, when, if this is his mom, could not go to the wedding. Or how about if this is his mom was supposedly, was never going to do another interview again. So if this is his mom gets out more than I do. Baron, you just need me. Let me see. Oh, you just made me laugh when you tried to imitate the lady who told Chucky that he should have give the people back their money. I'm from the islands, and we don't need those. What did she say? All of that nonsense. And the British people, what did she say? They're stupid for putting up with that nonsense. When she said nonsense, my shoulders went up. I was just like, ooh, it wasn't me. So let me see. Love that video. I laughed every time you played it. Oh, me too. I love that lady. She's fun. Let me see. I wonder if that's his mom right there, the Duke of Mexico. Huh. Or is that his mom right there, the Duke of Mexico, patron of KFC? Huh. Maybe that's his mom. Or, for Yeti's sakes, is this his mom? I don't know what it is about Thomas Markle Sr. and those I don't know what it is about Thomas Markle Sr. and those knees. Those knees have been through hell. Do you hear me? I love the way Thomas Markle is kind of tipping over there on the left side. It almost looks like he's like, what was that dance, pop locking or whatever? It almost looks like he's trying to moonwalk. You know, I would pay good money to see Thomas Markle moonwalk. If somebody said, just go inside of that tent right there, you know, like the old vaudeville days, or like the roadside freak show. If somebody said, you know, for 10 bits or $1 or whatever, you can see the amazing Thomas Marco. I would pay. I would pay. I would pay to see that. I would pay to see Thomas Markle moonwalk. I would pay Thomas Markle to take a bath because I kind of feel like he needs one. But yeah, there's old Thomas Markle just tipping away. And of course, the Yeti of the Great Northwest. It's not unusual to have sightings of Thomas Markle this time of year, especially on those frozen tundras of the northern hemisphere. It is not unusual to see Thomas Markle out there crunching through the snow on his way to pick up a six pack and, you know, for the people that work on the property there, he said. Mount St. Thomas Markle. Now, you know, desperate times call for desperate measures. And when one of the tabloid newspapers needed as much inside information on the Duchess of Sussex as possible, there was only one person who had the caucasity to come forward and climb up Mount St. Thomas Markle, right? Someone who had the caucasity to traverse that humongous bulge called his stomach. Yeah, this is, by the way, Thomas Markle when he had one of his episodes, right? This is supposed to be a stroke. Now, I don't know that he did not have a stroke, but if it was anything like his heart attack, he'll be out jogging next week, I think. But yeah, so who would climb Mount St. Thomas Markle? Carolyn Graham. That's who. Carolyn Graham, who moved what next door down the block so that she would be in close quarters and close proximity to Thomas Markle so that she can extract as much information from that vicious bowl of jello as possible. As much information about our Duchess, which of course is very little because our Duchess has a very squeaky clean past, even though it bothers them to acknowledge that. But trust me, some very determined people did everything they could to try to expose something about Meghan, and there was just no there. Even though Carolyn Graham climbed up on top of Mount St. Thomas Markle, ugh, there was no there. So she was really wasting her time. I was looking for a receipt and just realized that both rumors about Meghan and Dior and the, what is that, Senate, whatever, all come from Queen Camilla's biographer, allegedly, Carolyn Graham. These were the exclusively debated, and I'm sorry, these were then exclusively debuted on UK morning show. Camilla's going after Princess Diana's daughter in law is a sickness. So yeah, daughter-in-law. I'm sorry. There you go. But yeah, so that is the one who climbed up on Mount St. Thomas Markle and planted a flag in the name of slander and gossip and of course gaslighting and propaganda. Somebody had to do it. Now, yesterday I got the. By the way, I'm done, you guys. After this, Let me see. Yeah, yesterday I got this and I thought it was really nice. You guys, I don't see most of the comments, but I do see a lot of them. So one of the channel members, Gail Tapscott, says, "Thanks, thank you, Baron, for your support of the Sussexes. I watch, listen to you every night before bedtime with popcorn and a cup of tea. You make my evenings so enjoyable, and I can't thank you enough. Please keep on keeping on the Bay Area from the Bay Area. I'm sorry. I look forward to many more years of listening. I love you. Merry Christmas." So thank you, Gail Tapscott. Thank you so much for the very, very generous super chat. And as always, thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. And with that, I am done. It was a very long day, so I am going to make like a tree and leave. But as always, it is a pleasure to be here with you all. And of course, thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. I saw some of the stuff that the moderators lifted off of the comment section, and yeah, it is, some of it is so silly. And also, thanks to word block, some of the nasty language that they try to use never makes it on the comment section. So that is very helpful. I won't tell you what words are blocked, but I tell you, every time they do something, or should I say, write something, and I'm like, oh, I forgot to block that word. And then it's never used again, not on Royal Sussex. So, yeah, keep it colorful if you like, but nobody will ever see it. I suggest you move on. We run a pretty tight ship here at Royal Sussex, and we don't cotton too well to all of that negativity. So you are really wasting your time. Nobody will ever see how ignorant some of you derangers are, ever. Not here, you won't. So move along, little doggy, move along. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Thank you, Elaine, Connie Balmer, Mary H., Lydia, and Vinny Blair. Thanks, Maggie Howe, Lady T, Ingrid Sowers, and a host of friends and others. No Black Queen tonight, huh? Huh, interesting. You know what? For the last word, I was working on another one of my short videos, and I think I will share it with you. It is still rough cut. I kind of think I've shared it before, but I don't remember where or when or how. But I do think I shared it before. But in spite of that, I started working on another. So let me grab an image of our Duchess that I can use for that video, and that will be our last word. How's that? I'm just looking for one. Oh, this works. This works. Yeah, this works. And again, I think I used this before, but I just don't remember where, under what circumstances. But I've already done the voiceover for it, so I'm going to just yeah, I'm just gonna play it like it is. But it needs to be refined, so when you see or hear it again, and I know I've done this already, so I don't know why I bothered, but oh, let me do this. Wait, is that right? Oh, that works. That works. Matter of fact, I'll do that and flip that around so it'll go in and bounce back out. Okay, very cool. And this will be our last word for today. Maybe I started on it and I just didn't finish it. But anyway, that's going to come up, and then you'll have a chance to see it. Oh, thank you, Connie Bomber. Thank you. I've been telling everyone about my friend in Switzerland who sent me a real cowbell. I'm so proud of my cowbell and my genuine Swiss knife. That knife has so much weight to it. I mean, it's so quality. Um, so yeah, and really all of the gifts that you guys have sent to the Royal Sussex wish list, or you just sent whatever, um, I really, really do appreciate it. Um, yeah, it's very cool, especially stuff that ends up on my souvenir shelf. Shelf, that is, not chef. Okay. Oh, there it is. There's the video. So that is going to be our last word. Um, Also, just another little bit of business here, because after this plays, then I am going to bid you all a good night. Um, we never forget our queens, right? Because just like in a beehive full of honey, we depend on our queens. There we go. So we never forget our queens. All right. Oh, also before I play the video, thank you, B. Martim, Legs, Edna Joseph, Anna Boyd, Elaine Babb, Elaine Parker, Connie Balmer, and J. Matt, and B. Martim. Thank you all very much for your super chats and or super stickers. Greatly appreciated. Thank you for helping to support Royal Sussex. And also thank you everyone who support with your comments, your likes and shares, etc. Also greatly appreciated. Okay, and oh no, that's not it. That is not it. There we go. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, one more time. No matter how gentle the black, how light the skin, how gorgeous the face, how talented the soul, how pure the intentions, they will not protect us. No matter how innocent the life, how secure the birthright titles will be stripped, and babies tossed to wolves, because of a fear of black skin, they will let a woman drown. In their lies, they will let the darkness swallow her. See her reach out for help, and not only turn their backs, but crush her fingers beneath their feet. With hopes, she will plummet off the cliff. The why is obvious. The why is consistent. The why is always the same. Black. They want her suffering because blackness, because she was breathing, while black, because her light outshines the white. With her blackness, they will turn their backs on their own, stop taking calls from their sons because of blackness. And what else should we expect from the birthplace of white supremacy, the birthplace of slavery, the birthplace of the patriarchy, the soul of colonialism? And what else should we expect from a lineage of resilience, of beauty, of strength, of everlasting hope, her bounce back, her reboot, her survival? Catch this black girl magic, catch this brilliance, catch this happy, catch this radiance that not even 1,200 years of hate can kill. Catch this liberation, catch this revolution, this world woman, this global majority. Catch all of this unbreakable blackness. She doesn't need your titles. She has always been a queen. Okay, so again, that was, is it, yeah, is it Leslie Honore? So, nice poem from by Leslie Honore. So there you go. That's what I was working on. So I got to do some stuff to it, but I thought it'd be nice to end with that. And on that same vein, let's end with Madam Duchess. we'll end up with Madam Duchess. Love you guys, and I will see you all tomorrow.